So, hello and welcome to our student orientation and introduction. This is for us just to talk through about what to expect from the course and how it's going to run, and also to have a quick introduction to Bo and I. So, hi, my name's Jennie.
Hi there, I'm Bo.
And we'll give you a bit of a more updated kind of introduction to us in a little while. So, first of all, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us in this barefoot journey. And we hope that you get an immense amount of comfort and also knowledge and experience throughout this course to either help your own health challenges or to help others as well, whether you're doing this via the accredited version or not. So the course has been designed to be as accessible to lay people as possible. So you don't have to have any kind of medical or health and wellness training. But if there are some terminologies or some things that you don't understand, that is your cue to go and do more investigation on it. But also, Bo and I are available for any questions as well. Anything to add, Bo?
No.
So our main mantra at Barefoot Healers is to know thyself to heal thyself. And the reason is because all of our life experiences, things that have happened to us over time, the way in which we behave, our childhood, our upbringing, all of the things that have happened to us through this lifetime and possibly even previous lifetimes as well, they have a very deep impact on our actual physical health and well-being. And we believe at the Barefoot Healers that if you really start to do quite a lot of self-inquiry, and you're able to use your kind of intuitive gifts, and you're able to quieten out the noise, and you can start listening to your body's signals again, then you can really make great strides in health and healing. So what we're going to understand is hopefully we're going to make sense of nutrition, therapies and natural remedies amidst lots of confusion. Hopefully we're going to overcome the challenge of information overload, because in this day and age of social media, there is so much information out there for us to try and process. To learn the importance of tapping into and nurturing your own health insights, and to seek clarity and balance in your quest for physical, emotional and spiritual well-being. So just a little bit about me again. So my name's Jennie. I have been a nurse for 25 years, and my early career was mainly based in critical care. And then I moved to Portugal in 2011 and worked in recruitment, finding nurses to go work in the NHS. And a big part of that role was to do with education. And I also worked as a private nurse. And then around 2017, I started to have some increasing health challenges that were really affecting my quality of life. And I wasn't in a great place emotionally either, or psychologically. And I happened to actually move in next door to Bo, and we became friends and started to share our kind of knowledge and experience. So Bo was the person who gave me Reiki, and that was actually quite a big changing point in my healing journey. And also she taught me how to be a Reiki practitioner too. And I've also got qualifications in integrative health, natural nutrition, medical ethics, and other modalities. And we realised that between us both, that there's a certain lack of knowledge of how our body works in terms of anatomy and physiology, and the amazing vessel that we have, that we've been gifted with. But also there's kind of a gap in modern and in some of the complementary medicines, which is the soul path and where we're meant to be. And we've put that together in this course for you. And we're very excited to be doing this course, and we hope that you're going to get a huge amount out of it. So I'll pass you over to Bo.
Hi there. So my name's Bo, and I've been a Reiki master for the last 20 years, over 20 years now. My passion is raising your frequency. So I'm really interested in people being able to find their true balance and their true selves. And that's what you'll be able to find out through the Barefoot Roadmap.
Finished? Okay, so this quote kind of embodies really what we have just said. So, health is an announcement of agreement between your body, your mind, and your spirit or your soul. Honor your body, keep it in good shape, and when you are not healthy, look to see which parts of you disagree. Your body will demonstrate the truth to you. Notice what it's showing you and listen to what listen to what it is saying. This is by Neil Donald Walsh, but I really like this quote. And it kind of sums up the ethos of what we're saying about know thyself to heal thyself. So our body keeps a score, and it tells us, and sometimes it screams at us to do something about our health. And that most definitely encompasses the holy trinity of the mind, body, and soul. So, like Bo said before, we want you to live life in full alignment with your true self, because we do both believe that we are here for a reason and that we all have a role here on earth. And if you've taken this course to do as a health coaching course, then perhaps your role is to help other people find their own kind of inner healer and learn to recognize the signs and symptoms of the body, understanding your own triggers and your own kind of emotional wounds and baggage or trauma, and providing you with actionable tools and strategies so that you have the tools to be able to kind of overcome any challenges that you might be faced with in the future. And I'd just like to say that Bo and I will not say that we are 100% completely healed. You won't see us sitting like a Buddhist monk, preaching like a guru.
Why not?
Because we live in real life and we have other people around us, and we have to deal with kind of this modern society that we live in. So for sure, there's always going to be things that come up that you need to deal with, whether that's kind of represented in physical health or whether it's emotional well-being or psychological health. There are things that we can definitely do to help, and a big part of that is about energy healing and moving kind of stagnant and stuck energy or overactive energy from us, and getting, like Bo said, about just getting in balance, understanding where our weaknesses may lie, and then utilizing tools to kind of move past that and start understanding ourselves a little bit more. So this journey is designed to empower you, enhance your holistic integration of physical, emotional, and spiritual wellness. And this doesn't mean that you completely step outside of allopathic or conventional medicine, because the two can go hand in hand. And actually, you might be able to use some tools from the kind of holistic toolbox that can help mitigate kind of any issues that there might be with the allopathic medicine. So we're not saying completely step outside, and there are some occasions where you will need to possibly attend hospital or go to see a medical doctor. But we hope that if you're able to identify problems early enough, because there are always warning signs, unless it's an accident or something like that, that you can kind of overcome them and come out the other side a stronger, more experienced, more wise person. So whether your goal is personal development or becoming an accredited holistic health course, this course will hopefully serve as your guide. So the Barefoot Roadmap integrates 8 pivotal domains, from body consciousness to toxic load reduction, and each one is aimed at fostering inner harmony and self-awareness. And we begin with self-reflection, which we expect you kind of to do throughout the course, because this is about knowing yourself to heal thyself, or to help heal others, and to be in a position of a healer, which, by the way, is not saying that you're going to cure someone's cancer by laying your hands on them. A healer is someone who encourages that spark and that energy in somebody else so that they can be their own healer, because we are way more powerful than we are led to believe or that we think. So there is a lot of self-reflection exercises, and there's some practices as you go through, and we encourage you to do all of the exercises, or as much as you can. And if there's any kind of sticky spots that come up along the way, or you have any challenges, then please reach out to us, because we've both been through this journey, and it can be a little bit of a roller coaster trying to understand your true self, your true purpose, and improve your physical health. And it can be a little bit like this. And, I still get challenged sometimes. I'm sure Bo still gets challenged, but we hope that by the end of this, you'll have the tools to be able to navigate kind of any circumstance or situation that might affect your physical, mental, or soul health. So each pillar of health is designed to enhance your holistic well-being. Each pillar is designed to take about 4 weeks, but it might take you a little bit longer, but each pillar will be released after a month. The reason why we've done this, and you have time to complete it. It's not time pressured, and you don't have to panic about submitting homework or about getting the work done, because we know that life sometimes gets in the way, and sometimes it can be quite difficult to commit time to. So you can move through it at your own pace, but we would encourage you to spend kind of the same amount of time in each section, understanding the information that you're being given, and also doing that self-inquiry and kind of becoming your own healer too. So the course can either be accredited or not. So if you want to accredit your course later on, you can do so with a top-up fee, and you will just have to submit all your homework for us to be assessed. At the end of this as well, if you're going to do the accredited version, we will give you all of the tools that you need to start a successful healthcare coaching business, including things like client intake forms, recipes, guides on the most common kind of things that get brought to you as a health coach. Anything to add, Ben?
No.
So we also encourage you to incorporate daily practices into your life, like mindfulness, like improving your nutrition and connection with nature into your daily routine. And we do believe that you should at least practice most of what you preach. And, you know, sometimes you might have a day where you don't eat quite so well, or where you've, I don't know, been out and you've had a few glasses of wine and you feel rough the next day or something. We're not expecting you to be saints, and we're not expecting you to tell clients to be completely saints, because we live in the real world and we have challenges and experiences that come up all the time. But we do expect you to kind of incorporate what you're going to be advising to clients into your kind of daily routine, so you can see what works, what doesn't work, what helps, what doesn't help, and just the understanding that everybody is different. So you could recommend one course of treatment or modalities to a client, but to a different client, something else might resonate much better and might be much better for them. We also have an online community, which at the moment is obviously at its inception because the course is just launching now, where you can share insights and experiences and receive support from Bo and I and from your peers. We do ask that if you do join the Facebook group, if you could just do a little bit of introduction to yourself, so we know who you are and where your background comes from and things like that. So you'll be able to access a wealth of resources, which includes ebooks, video tutorials which are pre-recorded, one-to-one live sessions, and other exclusive member content. So we've got some surprises for you along the way. And there'll also be kind of live sessions, and we'll hopefully be inviting some interesting guests to kind of get different perspectives on things.
We also want to add that we're going to be sending you Reiki on a regular basis as well. Once a month, probably within the live session, we'll just send you like a distance treatment just to help you on your way.
So yeah, that's nice. So we've included kind of this distance Reiki within the course, and you know, some people say distance Reiki, how can you do that? But we'll talk about that during the lives, and there's also within the course there is actually Reiki resources as well for you to understand what it's all about. And you know, distance Reiki, people say that it can be just as effective because we're using energy and it transcends through the ether rather than actual kind of physical one-to-one. And Bo uses it, and I've never done distance Reiki actually, I will admit, but Bo's used it and you've had good feedback, right? So
yeah, I use it a lot, and people really enjoy the experience and can feel the relaxation, can feel the energy coming through. It's amazing.
So that's like an extra treat that we've got for you. And we'll also be doing lots of kind of like case studies and, you know, just trying to deep dive into all of these areas, but try not to overcomplicate things. Now, I will say that I do talk quite a lot and I do go off on lots of tangents. So I do apologise for that if I sometimes go off on a bit of a tangent, but let's move on. So if you're doing just a normal course, you don't have to submit your homework. You can submit it for some like basic feedback, but you won't be assessed on it. If you are doing the healthcare course, you do need to submit your homework, and there will also be a final project where you choose a case study, and it can actually be yourself if you want it to be, where we go through all of the things that we've learned over the previous 9 months, and you can create a plan and a kind of implementation and what you're going to do about that specific case study. So we also have on the accredited course, you'll also get a one-to-one mentorship session with me, and you can also have discounted sessions with myself or Bo for our various services, which include spiritual counselling, Reiki, and integrative health. Anything to say?
No, that's good.
So the very first month, you're going to be looking at the introduction, and the introduction to the Barefoot Roadmap includes a session on how to read and interpret medical research. It includes clinical and vital signs, which are using things like blood pressure, pulse, oxygen levels, respiratory rates to be able to kind of assess somebody's health or their course of treatment, and to look at like clinical signs. So sometimes you can just observe a client and you can get clues, or observe yourself and get clues as to what might be going on with you. So we'll talk about clinical signs, and then we also talk about other diagnostic tests that might be helpful to help you understand what might be going on with you. So the first month is very much about you self-reflecting on why you want to do the course, whether you have your own health challenges, what you want to see improvements in, how you want to do that, and then looking at the kind of the basis of things that can help us with identifying exactly what is going on at a root cause with somebody. Then the second month will go into the first pillar of Barefoot, which is body consciousness. And this is all about discovering your body's rhythms, and is what we consider the first step to kind of wellness. So the lessons that are included in that are things like mastering the language of body consciousness, journal and symptom tracking, actionable strategies that you can use to help you tap into your own innate intuition, using intuition for health and healing. And then there's also a nice lesson on astrology's role in enhancing body consciousness. So Bo and I an interest in astrology. We're not experts, but we know that there are certain periods in people's lives where there might be sensitivities, or there might be problems that come up during the kind of the celestial cycle, especially moons, and especially moons with women.
And also we've added a particular specific meditation for each pillar. So with body consciousness, we've created a meditation that's like a body scan. So you would just go from your head to your toe and actually feel your body within the meditation. So yeah, that'll be quite nice too.
It's not all learning and reading. So then we move on to alternative healing remedies. And this is about blending tradition with science. And we call it alternative just because we needed an A really to put into our Barefoot. But we don't really consider that it should be considered alternative. It should be kind of considered
Healing.
Yeah, healing remedies, basically. So we'll go through like the history of alternative healing remedies, and also the modern resurgence in science that supports the use of alternative healing remedies. So just as an example, I read a study the other day which was comparing lavender oil with a benzodiazepine called lorazepam, and they both reduced generalized anxiety scores by the same amount. So lavender oil was as effective as a benzodiazepine in reducing anxiety symptoms, but without the side effects and without the concerns of trying to get off the benzodiazepines once you feel that you're in a better state, which actually lots of people have problems with. So that's just one example. There are thousands, millions of different examples where there are alternative healing remedies that might be able to help somebody or yourself along the way. We also look at the spectrum of alternative healing remedies, so tinctures, teas, oils, using the different kind of preparations of our herbal gardens, and nature's healing pharmacy. So what we've got around us, common herbs that we can use, what kind of herbs you should have in your toolkit. And then we also enter into kind of energy healing here. So there's a big focus on Reiki and energy healing, and how that can be integrated into modern healthcare.
Yeah, and we also supply you with an extra supplement of 100 healing herbs and their actions for you. So that's a really healthy resource as well.
Yeah, so there's lots of extra resources along the way, and hopefully a few surprises for you that can be quite useful. So then we move on to rest and relaxation, which obviously has a lot to do with sleep as well, and about how we can recharge ourselves. Because I don't know about you, but as we've moved into the 21st century and we've got into 2020, life seems to be moving at a faster and faster and faster pace. And who knows what life's going to look like in 10 years' time. And actually, I think more and more people are trying to step out of that kind of rat race and that kind of society that we live in. But this is very much just a focus on why rest and relaxation is so important, and sleep, and how to overcome issues with rest and relaxation, and also techniques to be able to help you relax, because we are switched on 24/7, and it's very difficult to sometimes turn off. And we know that that obviously has a huge impact on health, especially sleep. And just taking that time to be still and be quiet and kind of drown out the noise. So we'll cover the vital role of rest and relaxation, the pathophysiology of stress and its impact, because we believe that you really need to understand really what's happening when people are stressed, and help techniques to unwind the mind, sleep, lots of stuff about sleep, and how to integrate that into your daily life. Then we're going to talk about equilibrium, which is about achieving harmony within. And this, we focus a lot on synchronization. So synchronizing our right and left brain, synchronizing ourselves to our environment, and helping us achieve that kind of equilibrium. Now, within this, we talk a lot about brain and body harmony, and also about brainwave states, and using things like binaural beats to be able to bring your brain and your body back into equilibrium, and other things as well that help with equilibrium. And then we also included in this pillar a bit about inner child healing and shadow work, because I've come to realize that a lot of our problems in adult life actually do stem back to kind of unresolved issues from childhood. And like I said in the beginning, this can sometimes bring up some difficult kind of memories or emotions. And we just want to say that we are here for you to reach out if you need to. If there's any kind of things that come up that you're worried or that you're concerned about, then Bo and I are both quite good listeners. Actually, Bo's got a counselling qualification, don't you? And so that we can kind of help you through that. But sometimes shadow work can be rough, and kind of being face to face with your own shadows can be a bit difficult. But this is not about learning to kind of deal with your shadows. It's about integrating them as part of yourself and achieving that equilibrium, and also achieving that kind of self-love that we all need, because we're also tough on ourselves sometimes. Then we move on to food as medicine. This is actually quite a big module. I think it's the biggest module of them all. But this will look at the foundations of nutrition, understanding macronutrients and micronutrients, and eating patterns. We'll also look at different dietary approaches that you can use, like the elimination diet, the GAPS diet, the low FODMAP diet, those kind of things, just so you get an idea of different dietary approaches that can be used. We'll also look at phytonutrients and how you can make informed food choices. And there's lots of information on vitamins and minerals and things like that as well. So it's really packed, isn't it?
Yeah, it's comprehensive.
Yeah. And as Hippocrates most famously said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And, you know, our diets in the Western world are not as optimum as they probably could be. And lots of people are eating foods that maybe are not so good for themselves. So this will just help you understand, like, which diet's the best for you, which food should you be eating, which food shouldn't you be eating. And also that everybody is different. So carnivore diet, for example, might work for one person short term, but for another person might be very difficult to fit in with. And say, for example, a low FODMAP might be more suited for that person's symptoms. So then we look at optimal digestion, which is obviously focused on gut health, but it's not just gut health. We go from the mouth all the way down through the digestive system. So we look at the mouth to the stomach, which is all about the initial digestion and absorption. Then we look at the esophagus. Then we look at the small intestine, the large intestine, and we look at the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. So there's more anatomy and physiology within this section, so that you can understand actually how complex the digestive process is and how many things can go wrong at different stages. And also we talk a lot about the microbiome in this as we go through. So each kind of lesson has a bit of a focus on the microbiome and how important the microbiome is to our overall mental and physical health. So then we're going to move on to one with nature, and this is kind of self-explanatory, but this is to try and allow people to understand the connection that we do have with nature and with cosmic cycles and our connection with everything that is like Mother Earth, and also to encourage people to utilize what nature can give us a lot more. So we cover cosmic cycles and human connection, planetary movement, tuning into cycles within cycles. There's a focus on grounding and about the scientific research about grounding and about how grounding can be so beneficial to people. We talk about the interconnected web of life and how as above, so below, and about the connection of everything. And then we just want you to embrace kind of the wholeness of nature, really. So I like this section. And I think there also this is where exercise falls in. I think this is where I've put exercise in. So obviously exercise is very important, and it probably could do with its own. Actually, maybe we should have put that in as E instead of equilibrium. It could do with its own like chapter, but exercise comes under one with nature. And then we have toxic load reduction and removal, which is all about purifying your internal and external environment. So we have lessons on understanding our toxic world, internal sources of toxins, and strategies for reduction for things like, say, for example, small intestine bacterial overgrowth that can create a lot of toxins, or parasites, for example. And then we look at the significance of mold and electromagnetic fields and how to live a low toxic life. So how to choose products, which chemicals to avoid, how to do detoxes, they're all included under this pillar. Anything extra to say?
No, I don't think so.
So if you're doing the accredited roadmap course, you'll also have lessons and modules. You'll have 3 months of modules which are specifically about the actual health coach course. And you will be understanding the role and benefits of health coaches and the dynamics of the client-coach relationship. So there'll be stuff on communication and how to build a professional relationship with clients. And then we'll be doing some sessions on operating a health coaching business, which will look at acquiring skills to sustain a successful health coaching business. And then the last month will all be focused on case studies and your final capstone project. So like I said before, we'll have recorded modules. New lessons will be released each month. There'll be monthly live interactive sessions, community support. There'll be access to our separate intuition and grounding courses. That's included in this course too. Access to our digital library. So Bo and I have amassed quite a nice digital library that you can have access to, which has lots of books and articles in there that can help with the process. Self-discovery homework, and also feedback from myself and Bo. So just an overview really, and as part of the kind of course commitment. So the course is designed for you to be deeply interactive, offering lifelong access to a wealth of resources, including live question and answer sessions with Jennie and Bo, who we can provide feedback and guidance. Then community discussions, which can foster a supportive learning environment, allowing participants to share insights and experiences. Obviously, if you don't want to be sharing insights and experiences, then that's absolutely fine. And we do just ask that if you are sharing information that may involve anybody else, that you kind of adhere to the code of confidentiality and the right for other people to have their information private. So the recorded sessions you can revisit at any time. So if you need to go back and have a look again at any sessions. And this approach, combined with the accessibility of materials, will hopefully give you the flexibility and support that you'll be able to embrace this and apply these holistic principles in your life. So we do emphasize that you, all the way through the process, you're doing your own self-reflection and you're tapping into yourself all the way through. And also that you adopt some of the changes that we suggest or that might be helpful for you, just so that if you are advising this to anybody else, you have your own experience. So for example, if you're advising in the future that someone should do a heavy metal detox, really at some point you should have tried to do a heavy metal detox yourself to see actually what happens. Or if you want to think of another example, if you want to try a diet like the elimination diet, if you're advising an elimination diet to a client or to family or friends, really you should have done the elimination diet yourself so that you know where the challenging points might be. So we encourage that kind of integration into the advice too. Obviously, we also have a bit of a saying, which is take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if some things don't resonate with you or they don't align with kind of your previous thoughts or experiences, then that's fine. We just encourage that there's respect and that there's an open dialogue between students and between ourselves too.
And also, I think it's very important for you to just keep a symptom tracker, or keep a track of, if you do an elimination diet, make sure that you just keep a good track of what's happening for you, because it's easy to forget those things. You might think, oh, that's fine, I'll remember what's happening. But if you just put a day-to-day notes, it really helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we've included our journals that we've designed, which you can actually see on the shop, but we've included the journals in the appropriate places for you to work through the journals, and a lot of those have got symptom trackers in them. So especially things like when you're looking at the moon cycles and whether they affect you or not. And we encourage you to keep this kind of running journal as you're going through the course, just to see any areas that might be highlighted for you or for other people around you particularly. So just to once again say welcome and thank you very much for investing in us and to be spending your time, hopefully joining an ever increasing Barefoot Army. And thank you very much for being our first students. And if there's anything that you see like mistakes, or there's something that you want clarification on, or there's something you're not sure about, please feedback to us. And also feedback about kind of the course material as well, if you think that there's anything that might be added or removed, or whether it's too much or too little. But we hope that you find that it all resonates with you. And, this is coming from a soul-based kind of initiative, which is backed by science. That's the idea, is that we want to share this information with people, but also know that this is supported. A lot of these things are supported by science, and they are worthy of exploring in terms of holistic health. So anything to say, Bo?
No, welcome.
So, yeah.
Namaste.
Welcome, and we're looking forward to meeting you all.
Yeah.
And hopefully engaging in some very engaging conversations and thought processes and things like that. So, okay. Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Bye. Bye-bye.